We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy, Dillingham, Blue.
And there's Brett Chapin. Here we are.
Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists on episode 181.
That's true.
Hey, Dorothy, I'm coming to your show tonight.
Hey, yay! Oh, that's right. Yes, where am I? So, I'm tonight at the Attic Theater. I'm playing Lucy Van Pelt, and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Is Charlie Brown really a good man?
He is. He does his best.
Okay, good.
He really works hard. He does. He's a prince, and a prince could be king. So that's me. So come to the show.
Nice.
I'm on tonight, and I'm on the next 2 weekends. I went and saw the show last night when my understudy was on, and that was so fascinating. It was weird, but it was good. Because there's a lot of the show.
He's a good man.
Yes, there's a lot of the show that I don't get to see.
Yeah,
because I'm backstage and it's very compartmentalized, and so especially Matt Steele, who plays Snoopy, man, he is up to all kinds of just tomfoolery, but not in that distracting way. When you're in a show and there's that person who's like, "Oh, I'm going to work this bit over here." You're like, "No, the scene is over here." Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So he's a pro at doing that without taking away from what's happening in the scene, the primary focus of the scene.
I like anybody that's described as doing tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
Like if you can work that into a description of a person, that's like a very cool person to me.
I'm just kind of old school like that.
Yeah, no, I like it. Way to work that word into the show. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. You're playing Lucy.
I am.
And it's running for the next 2 weeks?
Yes, so I'm on tonight, and then for the next 2 weekends, we close November 2nd.
Very cool.
Yes.
And you can find information about that at chromalometheater.org?
Yes, or crtheater.com/charliebrown.html.
Awesome.
Yeah. Or just tweet me, Dorothy D. Blue, and I'll send you where you need to go.
Yeah. Or you can tweet questions during the show, too.
You can.
To La La Land Talk.
We like that.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
It's true. We had a crazy morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was. We were a little late getting in.
We were. We apologize.
Truth be told, yeah. Our guests were very gracious not to throw things at us when we got here. And, yeah.
Yeah, I had an audition in Burbank. Yeah, I had this audition in Burbank this morning. And so, you live in the Valley. So I'm like, oh, well, I can give you a ride. So I get to the address that I was sent, and it's kind of at the corner with a 7-Eleven. And I'm walking around
Your audition's over by the nachos.
I know, seriously. Like, do I want some beef jerky with my, coming into my character? I don't know. Yeah. So I email back to the casting people. I was like, so I'm unable to locate the building unless it is a residence or the 7-Eleven. Please advise. So then I remembered that they were calling themselves a particular name. So I went on to, thank goodness for smartphones, and I figured out that it was the last two numbers of the address had been flipped. So I was able to find it myself. And here's the lesson, okay, is that, I was a little pissed because I like people to have their shit together. But I walked and I'm like, you know what? There's a little of that in this character that I'm reading. I'm going to bring it with me because it's a gift. I'm going to take it as a gift. Mm-hmm. And I went in and I was like, what do I have to lose? And so I just completely went balls to the wall. So I think it went really well. So we'll see.
Good. Do you get a phone call later today, or how does that work?
I'm not sure.
Call and let you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
They said that I would be hearing from them. So
Oh, well, if they say that, that's always a good sign.
always a good sign.
That's much better than thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
I
coming
love that.
in. Yeah. And then at 6:15 this morning, I got a text from a former student who's like, I'm doing a 64-hour film festival. Will you play the crazy aunt? This is the same student who also cast me as a crazy stage mother. So I'm thinking there's a theme here. Crazy. But that's okay. I'm kind of already dressed for the part. So I'm headed to that in 30 minutes. So I love you guys, but I'll be heading out. Anyway, so that's my morning.
Okay. We'll say goodbye to you at 12:45,
Right.
and I will do the last part of the interview with our two amazing guests today from
Yes!
the Deaf West Theater.
It's right.
We have
That's
Catherine
right.
Gallagher and Jimmy Bellinger playing. What are your characters, guys? Who do you play?
I voice Marta, and I play in the band. I play guitar.
Nice,
And I play the character Georg.
excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I know the show, but I don't know the exact characters. And is Georg the one that's during the Bitch of Living song that's standing in the back, and he has the crazy kind of the flock of seagulls hair?
I believe that is Georg. That is not me.
Oh, okay.
But I do not have a flock of seagulls hair in the show.
No.
But I'm obsessed with my piano teacher's breast.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
So.
gonna do the line, but then I'm like, maybe I can get away with it without doing the line. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes.
And excellent hair, by the way, regardless of whether it's flock of seagulls.
That's
Thank you.
true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Your curls are rocking. It's
Oh.
great. We'll
Yes.
turn the cameras in just a
Yeah,
moment.
you guys
so
will be able to
everyone can
actually
see.
see them.
Right now, it's like a big
Yeah.
mystery
Just trust
for
'em.
you all, but
Mhm.
just it's all right.
You get
good
their
stuff.
voices, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans.
Yeah. So we had a crazy little thing that we released last night on our Facebook page,
Yes.
right?
The look of like, say what? It was
Yeah.
on my face.
What are you talking about?
Say what?
Yeah, John
Lacey?
Lacey. There was an incident. He came on the show last week, and he talked about the incident where he was at Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He was playing Big Daddy, and somebody in the audience was yelling out gay slurs during the performance, and he decided to step
Confront?
out of character and confront the person in the middle of the performance. And the person got removed from the theater by a few of the audience members after a little scuffle. And we, on La La Land, he was kind enough to release the video of that exclusively to us.
Yep.
Ended up being a national news story. He was interviewed by Fox News and CBS, and it ended up being a big thing. And so go over to our Facebook page and check out that video. It's kind of interesting, just the energy in the room and how everybody was really backing him up and being really supportive. It's good stuff. Find it at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk. And thank you to John Lacey for releasing that to us.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Theater Palisades is opening the Marvelous Wonderettes in 3 weeks. Go to
They are.
theaterpalisades.com for information on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Steve Gutenberg is our executive producer on that.
That's true.
Couldn't be more excited to be working with him, and the entire cast is just Kana Kunami's in it, and
Koinuma.
Koinuma, just like I said, and Kana Koinuma, and 3 other amazing actresses. So make sure to check it out, theaterpalisades.com.
Yes.
And we'll be right back with Catherine Gallagher and Jimmy Bellinger of Deaf West Theater's Spring Awakening, playing now right here on La La Land on LA Talk Live.
Woman needs a love just like you do. Don't kid yourself into thinking that she don't. She can fool around just like you do. Unless you give her all the loving she wants. Don't make the mistake of thinking old-fashioned. Times have changed from yesterday. No longer will those old double standards be accepted by the women of today. So when you think you're fooling her, she just might be fooling you. Remember, if you can do it, she can too. Because a woman needs a love just just like you do. Hey, don't kid yourself into thinking that she done. She can fool around. She will fool around. So you better take out some insurance and be sure she won't give her that love. Just like you. That sweet, sweet love. She wants it just like you. 'Cause she can fool around. Just like she will fool around with you or without you. Just like you do. A woman needs love just like you do. Hey, don't kid yourself into thinking that she don't. She can.
Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue, and I am Brett Chapin. And we are here with Jimmy Bellinger and Catherine Gallagher of Deaf West Theater Spring Awakening.
Welcome.
Thank
For
you.
joining us, guys. And I didn't even tell everybody before we went to break, but if you want to call in and talk to our amazing guests, make sure to give us a call at 323-473-3100, 323-473-3100. And for the first two callers that call in with an awesome question or comment, Catherine Gallagher is going to sign this CD and give you a signed copy of her CD called I'm Fine.
Yep. It's got 6 tracks on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a long. Usually people are like, oh, just do 4.
I had to
There's a
narrow
bonus
it
track.
down. It was super tough. I could have done 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, now you have them, in the hopper.
Oh, yeah. They're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Are you
I love
listening,
it.
music producers? Are you listening?
Come on, misters.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Spring Awakening, though.
Yes.
Deaf West Theater. You guys are
Yes.
doing really, really well and getting some amazing, amazing reviews. Congratulations on your show
Thank
so
you.
far.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about the plot of Spring Awakening for those that don't know?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
And Jimmy.
I'll do it.
That means
no,
you.
yeah.
Well-spoken young man.
Very. But yeah, so the plot is basically it's 1891 in Germany, and it already sounds pretty exciting. And what happens is it's just a lot of kids. It's a coming of age story, and all these young people in 1891 are kind of discovering their sexuality. And that's at a time where all of that is considered sinful and frowned upon, and through that they're kind of like there's kind of a revolt almost from some of the kids, and and some people are dealing with it in other ways. Some people can't deal with it, and it just shows you how like one simple like trying to talk to your kids about sex in a time where it was such a frowned upon thing, how it can just lead to these monumentous things. And it's a really beautiful show. And what's great is that the music, though it takes place in 1891, like a lot of the story is told through the songs and through the music, and those are very modern, and that's very modern music, very rock, very pop, very lots of different
Music by Duncan
genres.
Sheik, am I
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Yes, who I believe won the Tony for the music for a new musical that year. I don't know what year that was.
It won like 9 Tonys or something like
Yeah,
that.
it won
2008 maybe?
So
It
much,
was-
7 or
Yeah.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
Spawned a lot of careers
It
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
because that's where we got Leah Michelle. It's where we got
Correct.
Jonathan Groff.
Yes.
John Gallagher Jr., my personal fave.
Good times. Who's the kid from?
Skylar Aston.
Thank you.
Yes.
Skylar
Yeah,
Aston.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah.
Who's in Pitch Perfect and all
Correct.
that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So it was a
Yes,
jumping
yes.
ground for a lot of kind of the mid-20s people that we're seeing these days.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They
very
got
much
their
so.
start there.
And yeah, it's something that was interesting about the original version. I don't know if you guys do it this way in your version, but they had handheld mics,
Yeah,
right? In the
definitely.
Broadway version, which
We
is
do
something they
like a tribute to that for one of the characters. That's like how he sings a lot of his songs.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay. But the whole show isn't used. They don't use
No.
wireless mics for the whole show.
No, because we have to sign the entire show, and so therefore we cannot.
Oh, right.
Have them.
Difficult
Yeah.
to-
So one
True.
of the voices of one of the main characters, Moritz, he uses
Moritz.
he uses a mic
Yeah.
Nice.
when he sings. Yes.
Great character. How is it? How do you integrate the hearing impaired people, actors, with the non-hearing impaired actors? How can you tell us a little bit about how they relate to each other during the show?
Yeah, so for example, I'm in the band and I voice for a deaf actress, and she and I, it kind of is just, you learn a lot about connecting with people and communication, especially when, I know for me and Jimmy and pretty much everything except for Austin McKenzie, who plays Melchior. He was the only one who signed before the show. So for all of us, it was kind of a real lesson in communication and kind of connecting with somebody when you don't really know how to with the language you were raised on. And so trying to come together and be one character and have one voice while speaking two different languages and playing an instrument and having all of these come together is difficult. It's a work in progress, and it definitely, you know, I won't sugarcoat it and say like it's a magical thing, you know, but it's difficult, but it's such a lesson, and it's so beautiful to kind of watch it come together and find that voice for one character. You just kind of work on it. Yeah.
It'd be an amazing show.
And the themes of like of oppression, I think, are so strong in the play to begin with, and then to kind of compile onto that the oppression that deaf people experienced, especially at that time. Because I was reading, I think it was in the LA Times article, they were talking about there was, you know, forced sterility on them, that they were not able to, you know, allowed to have children, although there's not always a genetic link to deafness. And especially what you're talking about, the whole communication of parents talking about sex to their children, because there's that big one, you know, the one that happens at the very beginning and that we find out at the very end, and does that, once I remembered that, because I have seen it before, I was like, yes, that is absolutely, because not every play, I think, lends itself to bringing to light the whole communication.
Absolutely.
You know, Twilight, you know, star thing or whatever.
Well, that's what's so great about our show too, is that we are not just doing Spring Awakening and look, we have some deaf actors in it and it's different. It's like we're taking deaf culture and we're putting it into it. Like in the beginning of the show, we have a scene with that takes place in a classroom with all the boys, and it's now about like the teacher is a hearing teacher, and like no one's allowed to sign. Everyone has to speak. If you don't speak, considered less. And so like the one character Moritz, he's completely deaf, and so he like starts signing. The teacher reprimands him and he has to try and speak, and it's a struggle for him, and that's like all part of our show. It's not just like, oh, look at Spring Awakening with sign language. It's no, this is Spring Awakening taking place in a town with deaf characters, with real characters that are deaf. They're not just, oh, this character's played by like, they are deaf characters now, and it really brings a whole new light to the whole thing. It's really, it's beautiful. It's a crazy, awesome thing.
It's probably an idea, I think, you know, to integrate the two. It's kind of similar to what Sheldon Epps did with 12 Angry Men, doing a half black, half white cast. Are you both members of Deaf West Theater? How does that work? Did you go to an open audition? How did you get involved with the part?
For me, I knew the director and he asked me to come in for it, and then here I am. That was it.
Bam, zing!
I got an audition through my agent and went and showed up and sang, and then I went on vacation right afterwards because I had a vacation planned, and then they had callbacks while I was on vacation, so that didn't happen very well, and I ended up I sent a tape in of me doing some signing that they asked for. They sent a video of some signing, and I learned that and sent it back to them with me doing it. And that's kind of how it happened for me. It was kind of like any other audition, really, you know, just agents like, oh, here's your audition, go there. And they were very excited about it, and so I was like, okay, cool. And
definitely. It worked out well. You could be on vacation and still get the part. That's great.
It did work out very well.
Jimmy, had you had experience with signing prior to this audition, or?
Never signed ever before this audition or anything, but always wanted to learn. Actually, I really did. There was times where I'd go on like Amazon, I'd be like, sign language books, and and I was like, I don't know how helpful those would be though, and you know, because it's just me alone trying to learn something, and then this came along and it ended up being this amazing experience, and now 3 months in, now I'm completely conversational in sign language, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's like just having had the experience of being immersed into it and then not. You have to keep the practice, though.
Yes.
I cannot hold a conversation anymore because I got really good because I had to speak and sign all the time, and then it's like any language. If you don't have someone to practice with, it's just And the technique, that was always, the placement of the hands.
Right.
I had my coach would always be like, "Stop signing near your pelvis. Stop signing near your pelvis." I'm like, "What? Not like down here." It was just
Right.
What do you sign? Like up here?
You sign basically from here to here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well,
sometimes up
your
here,
basic
obviously.
one, unless it's
top
like
of your head.
Yeah, there's top of the head stuff too, like ideas and
Yeah.
Right.
Like boys and girls are all on your head.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Gender
female
stuff.
or men.
Oh,
things.
really?
Yeah.
What's men versus female?
Men
What's
are from the nose, like up. Yeah, the top half of your head is men, and the lower half is women.
Like
so
a
if I go
boy.
like this means man?
No, but I mean like anything. This means man,
Oh,
but like
okay.
anything that you would sign up here. This is also boy, like man things like father, like uncle. Like they're all up.
Father as
Male
opposed to
things are up
mother.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
like mother's
Okay.
out here. Same sign, but now it's a mother because it's the
got it.
female side of the the
the
lower.
face.
Yeah, yeah.
and like
Okay.
this is boy because it's like a boy wears a cap
Okay.
Right.
like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most? Oh, we're doing sign language over here too.
I was saying, and colors, like this is black, I believe. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah,
So-
colors are up on your face, and they're all over. It's so much. There's so much.
Yeah.
It's great.
Lot to learn.
It's
Lot to
such
learn.
a beautiful
Well,
language.
we've had people. We've had that deaf guy on. We've had
Matt and Kay Daigle.
Yes, folks from the Stella Adler Theater who did a show with hearing impaired actors, and it's always fascinating to me that when you're talking to the hearing impaired actors, it's almost as if you don't necessarily need sign language because their faces are so expressive. You can
Right.
almost see what they're saying
Yeah.
without needing the words.
And that's part of the grammar
And-
too, is the expression. You have to
Exactly.
express
Your
'cause-
eyebrows.
Yeah, you have to, like, you could ask a whole question with one sign and your face, or you could spell the whole, you could sign the whole question out, or you could just do one sign and put it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, and I'm sure that comes in handy on stage because the extra expression on the face can convey different emotions.
And
Yes.
voices
Right,
needing to
yeah.
follow that because you have to follow what they're doing,
Right.
Absolutely.
especially because you're trying to like play and do the thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm always, for a long time, it was a lot of, because the way, I feel like, especially, I'm a very, like, casual speaker, and everything I kind of do is, it's like I grew up in New York and LA. I'm, like, very, like, I was trained to, like, not look like I give a shit. Sorry. I'm not allowed to say
No,
that.
it's okay. No FCC rules.
Oh,
We're
right,
fine.
of
Yeah.
course.
It's
Yeah.
internet.
It's okay.
But so it was really difficult for me to kind of match and understand and connect with Trishelle, who is Murta, and to kind of like get out of my head and like just connect those two was a real struggle. Like it's a different, it's coming together.
Obviously coming together well. You guys are doing really well,
Yeah.
and people are really responding to the show.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's incredible, the response it's gotten.
Yeah. Everyone's crying and emotional and loving it, and they're so happy and moved, and it's great.
Beautiful.
And I think we are too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
every night we kind of, at the end of the show, I'll look at each other like,
Yeah. It's like we did it.
we did it,
yeah,
It's
you
a big
did.
relief. It's a big journey that you go on every night. The show is like not for the
It is.
faint-hearted.
There's
No.
a lot. I know. It's
It's not a tra-la-la musical.
no.
No
No.
way.
As a matter
It
of fact,
contains
we
adult
were-
content, like and there is
Yes.
the nudity is there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, just forewarned. But
Yep.
it is part of the
Nudity.
story. It's a necessary part of the story.
It is.
Yes. It's
Well, it's
just
a
real.
part of life.
Yeah.
It's like
What?
30 seconds of nude. I mean, it's not
You're right.
even
You're
really
right.
nudity.
It is 30. Yeah, it's some booty and some boobies.
Yeah. Two excellent things to have in a show, by the way.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
see, this is booties and boobies with meaning.
Right.
Oh.
So
Right.
it's
yeah.
stuff.
No, it is. It is.
The
true.
themes are pretty dramatic. As a matter of fact, we were talking about doing the show at Palisades and
We were.
yeah, like 3 years ago. It was a while ago.
Oh.
And
why they never passed.
let me just say, it was a very brief conversation, just because of the themes are pretty heavy. Maybe themes for Palisades, maybe one day, but
Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
But you guys are handling it at Def West very well. What do you think that you want to have an audience member take with them when they leave the theater after a show?
That's a really good question.
It is.
I think just kind of it kind of opens up your mind a little bit, and I think communication is a thing that we often take for granted, and especially now, I know my face is in my phone all day long, and I very rarely actually talk to the people I care about in anything more than like, what are you doing? Like, favorite your tweet. Like, I like someone's Instagram, and I'm like, that's fine for a conversation for the day. But
Sorry, what did you say?
I get it. But yeah, so I think that if you can kind of walk away from the show, and it kind of gives you an appreciation for the things that I think we take for granted, and I know the conversations I can have with my parents that could never have been had then, and what I can say to my friends, and the fact that, you know, I have great parents, which a lot of these kids don't, you know, Marta in particular in this show. It's kind of, I think, gives me at least an appreciation for things I take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. How about you, Jimmy? What do you think you want to have the audience take from this after
You
they
know,
leave the theater?
I think that, you know, this show is very, yes, it takes place in 1891, but it's still a very relevant musical in terms of like a lot of the themes, and like it's still things that people are dealing with. I mean, we've got it addresses everything. It addresses the sex and the sexuality of young people, but it addresses homosexuality. It addresses suicide. It addresses so many things, and they're all things that people are like, even though it was so long ago, people are still dealing with that. Like, it's still something that people deal with, and I just think that it should, you know, hopefully people will take an appreciation of like that, of like, you know, let them think more and not be so, maybe not so close-minded about things, and let them see the show and let that open their minds up to things, because I know so many people who have seen any form of Spring Awakening and just been so moved by it, and that's what I would like our show to do, is to really wake someone up to something and make them go, wow, I've never thought about that like that, or, you know, and really just, you know, just maybe change somebody for the better.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that communication that you have, and I'm a parent myself, and so, you know, the conversations I'm having with my almost 6-year-olds are different than what they're going to be when he's a teenager. Mm-hmm. But I can't even predict how those are going to sound. But see, when I saw Spring Awakening, and it's especially the conversation that, what is the girl?
Venla.
Thank you.
Yes.
Venla has with her mother at the very top of the show.
Right.
And it is this comedic moment. It is, you know, this sort of like, well, isn't that sweet moment? It's that conversation that the mother, you know, she chose to go with a simplistic sort of fairy tale version of an answer for her daughter's very serious question.
Right.
And there are serious consequences that occur to that.
Yes.
And so that kind of opened up. Actually, after I saw it, I kind of like was talking to friends of mine who now have teenagers. I'm like, what are you doing about that conversation? They said, well, frankly, you have to have the conversation in middle school. It starts back then, and you have to be actually much more frank and direct and factual, because otherwise they're so literal. They are a literal being. They won't translate it unless you tell them what that is supposed to mean.
Right.
So and that was something to really think about.
It's been a while since I've seen the show. Is that top conversation about sex? Is it a sex
About how
conversation?
babies are made.
Yeah.
About how
Oh,
babies,
okay.
yes.
Where they come from.
The birds and the bees.
It's
Yes.
not the stork?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's
not
the
the stork.
conversation that they have.
Man.
She tells her it's the stork, and she finally like, come on, what is it? I know it's not the stork. And then she pretty much tells her a fanciful story.
It's how you love someone with your whole heart.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
is how she
Yeah.
puts it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then
That's it.
just
It just happens.
that is how it happens.
Whole heart, whole penis.
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but it's true. That whole top conversation, that kind of sets a lot in motion for the whole show, especially with that storyline. I mean, we do have that's the nice thing about the show is there are a few storylines.
Yeah.
Moritz, wow, what a character there.
Yeah.
Our friend Dylan LaRock, he played that over at Lhasa.
Oh, that's a
incredible.
great part for him. Yeah.
Yep.
There's so many different themes that are dealt with in the show.
Yes.
I actually saw a version of this. It was called Spring Awakening, and I don't know if it's the same show, but I think it was. But it was an all-dance show back in 2000.
Wow.
And it was called Spring Awakening, and it was done at Cal State Long Beach. Did Spring Awakening start as a dance show?
No.
Very
No.
early in
Not
its
from what I know,
incarnation?
no.
It's an actual German play that was very, very controversial when it was
Yes.
first produced in the late 19th
Yes,
century.
it was
so,
like banned and stuff.
Oh yeah, it was
The
banned
original
and
play.
stuff.
Yeah, you know.
Stuff.
That's when
Yeah.
you got to read it.
We're
I'm
gonna
looking it up for you.
Yeah, we're probably going to play some music from Spring Awakening during the next commercial break just so you guys get an idea.
Yeah.
In addition to the amazing music that we're hearing all throughout the show by Catherine Gallagher.
Yeah.
How much more time do you have? Do you have another couple of weeks before you close? When's your closing date? I don't...
November 9th.
November 9th.
November 9th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So people have some time. They can go to deafwest.org for tickets.
Well, they don't actually because we are completely
We're
sold
sold
out.
out.
Are you really?
We
Yes.
are entirely
Wow.
sold out.
We are
There's like-
completely, and we added 4 shows, and those sold out.
Look at that. Are you going to extend again?
Not
think?
this run. The theater's not available any longer, so we're
We are
we're
closing
done
the 9th.
November 9th.
Well, what are you guys doing here? You don't need to sell tickets.
I know, but
I know.
we
great.
will if we're lucky. You know, who knows? But you know, if we're lucky, maybe we'll be back. We'll see. But as of right now, we are closing the
This is
9th.
it.
Well, prior productions have transferred. I mean, Big River transferred. I mean, there have been a
Absolutely.
lot of transfers
No,
for Deaf West,
so-
so
Yeah.
that's
That's
not
very very likely.
Yes.
You know, but there's nothing official, so we can't say anything because we don't know.
We literally know
all
nothing.
that.
They tell us nothing.
Yeah.
So
Is there? Can we say that there's talks about it? Is that
I don't know
fair
if
to
you're
say?
hearing talks. I don't know.
I mean,
I've heard
Yeah, there's
nothing.
talks, guys. There's all
I
kinds
mean,
of talk.
I'm sure there are. I hope there are.
Okay.
And like I said, you know, I'd say don't give up on us yet. I'm sure that we will be back at some point.
Just
or
keep talking about
some
us, and
form.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll come back.
Make us
Hey.
come
We'll
back.
see.
I think you should. What a
That's
great
right.
show.
Yeah.
We're talking with Catherine Gallagher and Jimmy Bellinger of Deaf West Theater's Spring Awakening. If you have any questions for them, make sure to give us a call at 323-473-3100, 323-473-3100. You can also tweet us questions at La La Land Talk, as my co-host leaves me. Break a leg. So we're going to take a quick break. Yeah. And we'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Dorothy on LA Talk Live.
I'm fine most of the time. I make my coffee in a pot for one. angel who could hear me through the wall as I cried out like in Latin, this is so not life at all. Help me out of this nightmare. Then I heard her silver call. She said, just give it time, kid, I come to one and all. She said, give me those bad dreams and the itch you can't control. Let me teach you how to handle all the sadness in your soul. Oh, we'll build some silver castle, shut the door and climb the walls. She said, love may make you blind, kid, but I wouldn't mind at all. It's the bitch of living, bitch, just the bitch. What you can, just the bitch, yeah, just the bitch of living as someone you can't stand. See, each night it's like fantastic, tossing, turning without rest. Cause my days at the piano with my teacher in her chest, and the music's like the one thing I can even get it all. Then she leans against my shoulder, man, I want it all. It's the bitch of living, bitch. With nothing going on, nothing going on, just the bitch of living. Asking what went wrong. Do they think we want this? Oh, who knows?
Totally beep.
Totally.
Yeah.
What did we say? Our edit was totally bummed.
Yeah, totally bummed.
Totally bummed. Oh,
inconvenienced.
come
Bummed.
on.
All right.
That takes the whole part shock of the song away. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, it does.
you're bummed. Totally bummed.
Totally bums. This is Catherine Gallagher and Jimmy Bellinger of Spring Awakening, playing now at the Deaf West Theater, the sold-out performance of Spring Awakening, I should
Crazy.
say. That's awesome. I'm over here bleeding, but we go on when we have interviews on the show.
Not
ouch.
more.
Now I'm bleeding
Yeah.
again.
Oh, man.
Now he's gushing blood.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'm all right.
God.
You know, the show must go on.
Worried about
right.
you.
So-
Yeah, we'll be all right. So, what's next for you guys as far as work goes? Are you working on anything right now?
Individually?
Individually? Yeah.
Well, I just released this record. So hopefully, yes, that's the one. So hopefully getting back, doing a tiny little East Coast tour in December, playing a show. Actually, Katie, who voices Venla, and I are playing a show on Tuesday together at Bar Lubitsch. So if you're in LA, we're going to have half the Spring Awakening band doing both of our kind of solo acoustic stuff. So yeah, more music for me. Lots and lots of that.
Great. And people can find information about your music at KatherineGallaghermusic.com. KatherineGallaghermusic.com.
That's the one.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Jimmy?
What are you doing?
I
these days.
am I'm pursuing an acting career out here, and so I'm doing this show, which I'm so lucky to be a part of. But I haven't done theater for over 6 years, and which is crazy, and it's awesome
It's
to
apparent.
do it. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
That
Yeah,
was such a
yeah.
Jimmy joke.
It was. I know. That's what I would say. So
True.
I'm impressed.
Not apparent at all. You're brilliant.
Tell me more things.
Okay.
No, but so I do mostly television and film, and so like right now I work a lot on whatever I can. Currently I work as a recurring role on like a Disney Channel show called Liv and Maddie.
Awesome.
So I do that, and whatever else I can get in my hands on. I will say, I guess since I'm here, I do have a movie coming out in hopefully the spring.
Nice.
Called I Am Potential, and it's a really beautiful story about it's a true life story about a young man named Patrick Henry Hughes, and I play him, and so that, I guess, hopefully more work will come from that, but
Absolutely.
yeah, but right now I'm really just trying to work as much as I can. That's all I want to do.
Audition.
That's right,
Yeah.
and just whatever I can get, but a lot of my focus now is this, and then just enjoying the holidays, So
Absolutely.
Some much needed rest.
Yes.
Yeah, you deserve it. What has it been, like 12 weeks that you've been doing the show now?
Well, we started rehearsals mid-July.
Ooh.
So we've pretty much been together almost every day, the whole cast, since then, which is kind of great, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
It's funny how close we've gotten. Like, even on our 2 days off, we end up seeing each
I
other
know,
every
I
single
see them
day.
so much. I know, and just
Nice.
it's like, what are you doing tomorrow? We're gonna all be together again. Let's just all do stuff.
Every time.
Never ever not see each other.
That's the kind of cast that needs to have this show go up again somewhere else.
Right,
I
exactly.
think so.
Bit of a family.
Yeah,
We are.
very
Yeah.
cool. Well, congratulations on Spring Awakening and everything you're doing with that. I think it's just fantastic, and I was really excited to have you guys both on. So,
We're so excited
Yeah.
to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
problem. Come back anytime.
Yes.
You will.
Thank you.
Right. So, Dorothy, what do you? Oh, wait, Dorothy's not here.
Oh.
Hey.
God.
yeah, I was gonna. I'm like, wow. Am I the invisible dude?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
you're
you-
very visible. I mean, you're invisible on camera right
On
now because
camera,
we can't
yes.
see you, but I can
Yeah.
see
See,
you.
they don't know. See, when Dorothy's not around, that I get the honor to co-host La La Land Talk. So,
Yeah.
it's a great.
That's the dream.
That's the
That's
dream.
the
Yeah.
real dream.
That's the
We're
dream.
While you guys were late, we became best friends.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah.
There was some bonding that
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We planned it that way. That's why we were late.
I
told
We
you
guys
appreciate
fun.
it. Thank you.
Smart.
Yeah, bro.
Come back again. We'll do it again.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, because I told him about the Jack Daniel. When
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
knew we were
Yeah.
buds as soon as,
You guys were
we had the
working
whiskey
hard.
connection.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
The infamous Jack Daniels story. That particular
Oh,
episode.
should I
Yeah.
say the episode? Jack made his grand appearance on La La Land Talk.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Jack might make another appearance on
Right.
this show. Jack
Well,
might make
call us
another-
back.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
We'll have to come in for sure.
Anytime.
Yes, most definitely.
Is there anything that before I let you go too? Is there anything you want our audience to know about the show? Just
I
throwing
would
it out
love
there.
to say come see it. But
Is there any way? There's no way, huh? Even if they show up at the door.
show up and beg. I don't know if that works. I think I'll get in trouble
Maybe,
for saying
but-
that.
Like
It's just because it's such a it's not really a large theater. It's a very intimate show, which is great for the show, and so that's why it's hard. We have 99 seats, and that's that, and so it's amazing how fast that fills up, and people.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, especially with a show like this that's in such demand.
yeah,
You know,
which
I
is
can imagine you guys sell
we're
fast.
so I know we're like an Xbox at Christmas. It is so nice.
How long did it take after they added those extra 4 performances? How long did it take to sell out? I'm
I
just curious.
heard
2
2
days.
I heard 2 hours. I heard
No.
4 hours.
No, because I found
'Cause
out
you
that
got
it was
tickets?
yeah, and I knew that the day after I looked and they still had some, so
There was
I know it
definitely
couldn't
a
have
show
sold
that
out.
was gone on the first day.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
know
that. I
that.
think I'm sure a show sold out, but not all 4.
My
but-
roommate literally
2
the
days.
shows went up and she got tickets right away and after she bought them they were gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had some
People
people
were
too. I was like, "There's
stoked.
some shows." Right when I found out before they became like real, I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, go get your tickets now." And then maybe a day, like I said, a day or 2 later, gone.
Did your friends do it? Because mine didn't.
Oh, some of them did. I have some friends that never made it because I don't think anyone. I think no one. Some people I told about, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool," but I don't think they realized they didn't take it as like a really serious, like this thing that's gonna like. I don't. And none of us really thought. I mean, we thought we were doing an amazing show, but I think any of us thought that. Oh, watch, like 3 weeks in, we're gonna be completely sold out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you work very hard on something and so focused and you think it's incredible, you don't ever imagine anyone else agreeing with you. When you're thinking about just all of the hard work you've done and how you're so in it, and then all of a sudden other people like it, and it's so surprising and it shouldn't be because it's a brilliant show, but it's
Yeah.
That brings up a good point because a lot of the shows that I mean, I've done shows that I thought were just okay. It's a good show, but then the audience really responds to it.
and yeah.
And then the opposite. I've had shows I thought were great that didn't get a response. So it's like you never know how the audience can react, but they're reacting really well to your show.
Yeah, I mean, all we
They
can do
are.
is kind of do our job and hope we're
Right.
telling the story, which is already a pretty good one to begin with. So
Has
Yeah.
Duncan Sheik come to your show?
he just tweeted, so I think he's
coming.
coming at the
Yeah?
end of October. Steven Sater came, which was really awesome.
And he wrote.
He just tweeted about this interview.
Well,
He's watching. Hi, Duncan.
Hi, Duncan. He tweeted at Michael Arden, who's our brilliant director, and asked for some tickets to the show. So we might be able
Awesome.
to squeeze him in there.
Yeah, I
have
think
a
so.
feeling we can
Yeah.
find a place in the theater. I'll put him in my guitar case. It's
Yeah.
cushy.
He'll fit in there.
Why
That's
not?
right. Yeah, no, it'll be exciting. We've had some of the original cast come and see the show too.
Skylar came
Skylar
to
Aston
see it,
came.
which is really nice of
Opening
him.
night, we had Hunter Parrish come, who was on Broadway.
Yeah, he was the third replacement.
Yes, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's been great. We've been so fortunate to.
Leah Michelle's in town. She needs to come up. And
Yeah,
see the
where's
show.
she?
I know,
Come on, Leah.
Leah.
Yeah.
Leah.
Well, you guys, again, congratulations
Thank
and,
you
and
so
best
much.
of luck
Thank
on
you.
the rest of the run.
Thank you.
Spring Awakening. DeafWest.org for information about it, because you can't get tickets. They're sold out.
I know.
But-
Sorry.
But read the amazing reviews. A lot of media and patrons have really responded to the show, and it's one of my personal favorite musicals. It's just such a good show, and I've only seen it once, so go check it out if you can get tickets. Go to CatherineGallagherMusic.com for information on Catherine Gallagher and listen to her music. Jimmy, do you have a website you want to throw out there?
You can just follow me at Jimmy Bellinger on
Easy.
Twitter. There you go.
Jimmy Bellinger on Twitter. Follow La La Land Talk too while you're over there following Jimmy. You can find information on our Facebook at facebook.com/La La Land Talk, and you can also send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com if you want to comment on any of the shows, or if you would like to be a guest, please email us and let us know. We would love to hear from you. Next week on the show, it's jam-packed. We have Sheena Ochoa coming back to tell us all about the book that she wrote with Stella Adler and everything that she's been doing with the book tour and all that. And we have Madison Hatter's going to be calling in. She's doing a show with what is that band? Winger, the lead singer from Winger, at the Whiskey on the 14th of November. So she's going to call in, tell us all about that. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Gene Franklin Smith, Victoria Hoffman, and the rest of the cast of the show The Vortex that's reopening. Can't wait to talk to them. And until then, I'm Brett Chapin. This is La La Land Talk on LA Talk Live. We'll see you at the top.